Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for making us part of your morning. I'm Christian Garza. Tim and Nicole have the morning off. But you know who's here in studio with me, and I'm so grateful. It's meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Good morning, Thomas.
Hey, good morning, Christian.
You know, they left us here to entertain everybody, to bring, the world of news to the people here. But you know what? It's just been fun this morning. Unlike kind of the weather the last few days, it's been super hot, and we've been in a weather impact alert, right?
So I'll tell you what, we were just talking about Pokemon a little bit ago, but it really might be one of those weeks where it's like, just get inside. Like, this might be the week to play video games indoors because it's just been a little bit too miserable to get outside, be it either because of the heat or now the air quality, which is starting to drop. So even though our temperatures have been okay at about 67 degrees, not exactly an open the windows kind of morning because the air quality unfortunately has dropped. You can really tell how hazy those skies are, especially from that Coeur d'Alene camera. So we're still under heat advisories due to the temperatures being in the mid 90s and above, but now we are also under air quality alerts at the same time. These go until further notice because the wildfires across northeastern Washington have been pouring more and more smoke into the Spokane area, and now that air quality has taken a pretty significant hit as of today.
Thank you, Thomas. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. Turning now to traffic, we're looking at I-90 in Jefferson. As you can see, the sun is rising here in the inland northwest. Absolutely gorgeous, but it is looking a little hazy like Thomas was mentioning. Traffic, though, is looking clear. Everyone's getting where they need to go. Here on Up with KREM, we bring you traffic and weather together every 30 minutes. Speaking of traffic, though, a heads up this morning. The city of Spokane says southbound Division Street between Desmet and Cataldo Avenue will be reduced to 2 lanes for a water main repair. So if your commute this morning takes you down Division, expect some delays. Well, this week, the heat has been a big focus across the inland northwest, affecting events like the Kendall Yard Night Market being canceled to high school soccer games being postponed. Despite this heat, the city of Spokane has yet to open their cooling centers, though. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy has more.
A few cars are all to see in the Kendall Yards neighborhood Wednesday night.
Do you want a cup or cone?
You'd have to step into a business like The Scoop and get served by Harper Baird to cool off. When the announcement came of the Kendall Yards Night Market's cancellation, he wasn't shocked.
I think it definitely should have happened. It's like, we don't want to risk people getting hurt in the heat, especially those who aren't hydrated enough. It's unbearable heat.
Baird's glad he's able to beat the heat while working, but knows others may not have the same resources and need some extra help.
During the time of the year, people don't expect it to be as hot during now, so they are more likely not prepared for that.
Now, the city will only provide what are called inclement weather centers when the temperature index reaches 95 degrees or higher for 2 consecutive days or more. The temperature index quantifies how hot the weather feels to the body by combining air temperature and humidity versus measuring the temperature of the air alone. It's also written a decision can be made by the mayor to open them if they feel it poses a health risk to vulnerable or unsheltered individuals and families. This week, the index hit 94 over the last 3 days, which the city says is why shelters are not implemented. The mayor's office says this is an effort to utilize city resources by not using larger shelters and more specified sites. This comes as Wednesday marks significant temperatures in Spokane, with the National Weather Service reporting 99 degrees at the Spokane International Airport, where weather records are kept.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
As for Baird, he hopes the city can take more action during hotter days, like what we're seeing on this unusual start to September.
I think with all the resources we do have, because we're such a big city too, we should put something into being able to help people cool down.
That was Connor McAvoy reporting. Now, to help beat the heat, the mayor's office cited going to sheltermespokane.org for resources on availability for shelter beds. They recommend libraries and park facilities as well for people needing to beat the heat. Spokane Public Schools says this heat wave is impacting students in and out of the classroom. So far, 3 SPS schools are getting work done on their AC, while 3 other schools don't have AC at all. The district said staff are doing what they can to fight the heat using fans and portable coolers. This comes after 2 girls' soccer games scheduled at One Spokane Stadium were either canceled or postponed.
And you're really trying to eliminate those high, intense radiant heat that you're also getting from the sun. And if you're able to decrease that, then the heat index of the area should be lower. And turf field is a complicating factor because that always runs much hotter, even at low temps. And so thinking that some of our heat index was 100, 105, those turf fields were probably, without taking a measurement and knowing what they were, at least 120, if not hotter than that.
The district announced this week all outdoor activities will be moved inside while the heat lasts. As you try to beat the heat this week, Avista customers in Idaho will see higher rates starting this month. On Monday, electricity rates went up a little over 6%. Natural gas prices are up a little over 1%, so a $100 bill would only go up about $1. Avista says higher prices for goods and services across the board meant the utility has to raise prices to keep up with network maintenance. It's also important to note Idaho regulators approved this rate increase before President Trump announced his new tariffs. Well, this morning we are tracking wildfires across the inland Northwest. We start with the Crown Creek fire burning in Stevens County. Burning south of Northport, this fire has now grown to more than 5,900 acres and is still 0% contained. There are still level 1, 2, and 3 evacuations for people living just south of Northport. In some spots, crews upgraded the evacuation orders. There are now level 3 go now orders for people living south of Hawks Road. An evacuation shelter is open at the American Legion Post in Kettle Falls. The nearby Black Hawk Mountain fire has burned close to 600 acres and is still 0% contained. We are still tracking the Rattlesnake fire in Ferry County as well. At last check, the fire has already burned more than 4,000 acres and is 0% contained. There are level 2 get set evacuations along the lower Silver Creek Road to Lake Roosevelt. Authorities say to avoid using 3-mile and 6-mile roads.
And those just a handful of the fires burning in northeastern Washington, which are directly responsible for the hazy and smoky sky conditions throughout the inland Northwest. So you will notice that for today, the air quality has dropped even here in Spokane as well. So hot and definitely hazy conditions at best, but it could very well be smoky with some poor air quality at times. When we look at the smoke modeling, first of all, it's everywhere through the inland Northwest. The heavier, the darker the reds are, the thicker that smoke is likely to be. And it probably only gets worse between now, tonight, and even tomorrow morning. So these smoky conditions not going anywhere, at least not for the next 24 hours.
Thank you, Thomas. And moving on to some out of this world news this morning, a University of Idaho professor helped discover a new moon orbiting Uranus. A team led by the Southwest Research Institute, including University of Idaho's Matthew Hedman, a professor in physics, discovered the moon with images captured with the James Webb Space Telescope. The scientists captured 10 different 40-minute-long exposure images and have spent the summer analyzing the images. The newly identified moon joins a fleet of smaller moons tightly orbiting Uranus. Hedman's role in the discovery was helping process the images. The new moon's name is currently S2025, but will change when officially named. All of the moons of Uranus have names from Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. In more cool science news this morning, a group of researchers have created what they say are the first multicolored and brightest ever glow-in-the-dark plants. They injected the leaves of these plants with a material often used in glow-in-the-dark toys that absorbs lights and releases it over time. This method allows researchers to create plants that glow red, blue, and green, unlike previous methods that only allowed for a green glow.